Right, so I'm going to give you an update as to where I am now. It's now 6:40 p.m. My delivery to the hospital was about typical for a hospital. It was obviously dark. It was really busy. I've not been to Brighton that often, but I know it's quite a big city, and it's got lots of one-way systems. And I don't know if I have to follow the sat nav to get anywhere. I'm just followed the sat nav. It was red through parts of it. It probably took me about 20 minutes to get through the town to the hospital. So I probably arrived, I would say, 6:10 at the car park, roughly. I went to the A&E bit, parked up where it says drop off only, put my hazards on, and I went into A&E. Oh yeah, interesting. I went to A&E. I went to the urgent treatment centre, which was closed, but as in closed as in not open for people, but the door was open. And I went in. There was no one in there, but a patient was there, and I said, "Is anyone working here?" She said she didn't know. So I went across the way to the A&E department, which I thought I'll just find a member of staff and ask where I've got to go. I had been given the actual wing that I had to go to in the floor, but when I phoned the customer directly, so I knew where to go with my box, but just didn't know where it was. And I went to the A&E, and it was rammed full of people. It was so busy. There was 3 people before me at reception, and all the seats were occupied, and the cubicles were occupied. I don't know what's gone on, but maybe it's like that. It's a Thursday night. It's Thursday. Basically, it's a Thursday afternoon. It's not even night yet, and it's really full. I mean that is crazy. I have been to A&E before in my local hospital, and it's never been, although it's been busy, it's never been that busy. I suppose we're in a city now, aren't we? Anyway, so I gave up trying to ask someone there. I thought I'm not going to waste anyone's time here trying to ask them. So I went out again, and I found someone just walking off who had a sort of a doctor's kit on and a pass. And I eventually got his attention, and he told me where to go, as in correctly the place to go to, not where to get off. And so I followed his instructions and made it to the right wing of the hospital, and made it to the right floor of the hospital, and then made it by pressing the button to get in to the right board. And I got in. I was just getting my phone ready to try and find the name of the person I was going to ask for, and then a guy came around the corner and said, "Oh, he was expecting this from me." So I got up to sign my paperwork, and then I was at this point quite desperate for the toilet again. So I asked him if there was a toilet on the way out, and he very kindly walked me to the staff toilet, let me in with his pass, and I got to use the staff toilet before I left. Another thing happened before I got out. I went in the lift, and but before I got there, I went in the lift. I was on floor 7, and I went down to the bottom, which was floor 5. But as it turns out, the floor I'd come in on was floor 6, which was the ground floor, effectively. It's on a hill, the hospital, so you kind of have, obviously the ground floor could be at many levels. So I went back out as I came out of the lift on floor 5. I asked, there was a couple of porters with a guy in a hospital bed about to enter the lift, and I asked them how to get out, and they said it's next floor up. So I said, "Oh, where's the stairs?" And they said, "Oh no, come with us." So I got in the lift with them, and then the lift broke down. And I was standing there thinking, I do not want to be stuck here. This is going to be a really bad end to my day. And so the lift sort of said out of service. And then one of the guys was saying to the other guy, "Has this happened to you before?" As in the porters. And the other porter was sort of saying, "Yes, it does this sometimes." And then after not working, the porter, who was sort of more relaxed, said, "Press number 6 again." Just as he did that, the doors opened on floor 5. So I got myself out of there, walked up the stairs. Whilst I got to the top of the stairs, their lift was opening on the right floor. So they got out okay, and so did I. But I wasn't going to risk that lift. It's only one flight of stairs. So I got myself out of there, and then just as I was in the lift, I was trying to upload the pod, and it wasn't having a signal, and something went wrong, and I couldn't finish off the booking. So I got back in my van and I drove away. The CX was sort of kept saying loading, loading, loading. And I just drove away. I know I've been here once before. I know there's no parking anywhere in the centre of Brighton. So I just put my sat nav to get me out of the city. Then I found a residential area which I've come to before, which I'm now parked up at, just about 3 or 4 miles out of the centre of town. Which is, I find this really handy because there's plenty of space. There's a road running parallel to the main road that runs out of Brighton, and there's housing on it, and they're all set back, and there's no WL lines. So I'm just doing this update now before I head off. I have put a bid on the job, which is not ideal, and I probably won't get it. I put big money on it. It's going from Feltham, which is obviously London, which is about an hour and a half away, going to Great Yarmouth. And I just put a bid on because I thought no one else is going to do that. It's collection before 7, but I won't get there before 7. I'll get there for more like 8:30. But if there's no one else, they might take my bid. And I've bid something like £190 for something like 140 odd miles. It's a small van, I think. And I'm not expecting to get it. I put a bid on anyway as I'm driving up north. There's no jobs. Actually, I'll show you that job in a minute. So here's I'll show you where I am now. So obviously, there is one active driver in Brighton, and then as you run north, there's a few other active drivers. So it's not like I'm the only one around. But in terms of work, if I go back to that page, there is just that Feltham job going to Great Yarmouth, and I've just checking the mileage, 158 miles, and it's for a what size van was it? Small van, yeah. So there's a very small chance that I'll get that. If I do get that job, I'll go to Great Yarmouth and tramp out overnight, and then I'll deliver it at 7, and I'll get back home by about 8:30, 9, which will be fine for what I want to do in the morning. It's not ideal, but it'll give me a good payday. Right, figures. If I do, I'm going to assume I don't get that, and I'm going to assume I don't get any of the work. So I've got a decision to make here now. Usually, on a usual day, I would tramp out here. But I need to get home really tonight for tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to head home. And it's about 3.5 or so hours. So I'll be back around about 10 o'clock. Maybe 10:30. And I put the figures in. So if I don't get another job, this is my figures for today. 345 miles driven, 13.5 hours worked, £160 earned from 2 jobs, £54.48 spent on fuel. That means net earnings after fuel of £106. So I wouldn't say it's been a good day. It has been an interesting day in hindsight because of all the ups and downs and doing the videos. I must say, doing the videos in itself did make the day more interesting for me, sort of wondering what I should say and things. So that is quite, for me at least, quite interesting. And I think what I wanted to try and give is an accurate reflection of a day in the life, as it were, as it was happening, rather than sort of Captain Hindsight telling me at the end of it, when I've told you all the figures, oh, you shouldn't do that or should do that. I'm going to finish off a summary when I get home or near home. I'm unlikely to say it's been a great day, unlikely to say that. But it's not over with, this is the beauty of the job. I'm going to start getting home now, and it's not actually finished. There may be something that pops up around London, heading around there. So we'll see. Right, farewell. I'll speak to you later.